Welcome back, friends, to The Mortals, a sanctuary where we shatter the silence, unearthing the raw, heart-pounding, and often inexplicable edges of human existence. And here, we don't shy away from the shadows. We step into them, even though we're scared. I am anyway, exploring tales of life's fragility, death's nearness, and the strange forces that sometimes pull us back from the brink. I'm Nathan Morris. I'm your companion on this journey through stories that will grip your soul and remind you just how precious every breath is. Before we plunge into today's chilling narratives, I've got a little cautionary tale for you. If you're new here and you haven't hit that follow button yet, you better beware, because legend has it if you don't follow the Mortals, you're going to find yourself at a quiet family gathering, accidentally blurting out a ghost story so terrifying during dessert that great Aunt Mildred, she faints into the pie, leaving you to explain the mess. Just don't risk it. Save yourself the ghostly guilt. Hit follow right now on whatever platform you're listening to and join our community of shadowed souls. And don't forget, new episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday, so set a reminder, tie a string around your finger, whatever you gotta do to keep the chills coming. Today, we're diving into two stories that will stop you cold, right in your tracks. These are real accounts of young people who stared into the abyss of death, only to be dragged back by forces that they can't explain. Encounters that are so eerie, they're going to make you question if something greater is watching over you. Let's step into the unknown together. Our first story takes us to the small, sleepy town of Ash Hollow, Nebraska, in the late summer of 2011. This is the kind of place where everyone knows everyone. They know your name, where the biggest excitement is the annual county fair, and where old houses creak with secrets older than the town itself. Here, we meet a 17-year-old named Caleb, not his real name, but we're going to call him that for this story. Caleb was a lanky, curious kid, the kind who'd rather explore abandoned lots than scroll through social media. He lived with his mom and younger sister in a modest rental on the edge of town, always dreaming of something bigger, something beyond the flat, endless plains of Nebraska. Caleb had a reputation among his friends as the guy who'd try anything. Ghost stories? He'd investigate. Dare to sneak into the old mill at midnight? He was the first in line. It wasn't just bravado, it was a hunger to feel alive, to prove he mattered. That he mattered in a town that felt like it was forgetting him. His mom worked double shifts at the diner, and his dad had been out of the picture since he was 6 years old, so Caleb often felt like he was on his own and the man of that house, and he was always searching for meaning in the mundane. But on August 14th, 2011, that search for meaning nearly cost him everything. It started with a rumor. Caleb and his best friend Mia, a 16-year-old with a knack for finding trouble herself, heard whispers about the old Hargrove house. It was a crumbling Victorian home on the outskirts of Ash Hollow. The place had been empty for decades, ever since the last Hargrove died under mysterious circumstances in the 1970s. Locals said it was cursed, that strange noises echoed from its walls at nighttime, and that anyone who went inside never came out quite the same. Most kids would laugh it off, but Caleb saw this as a challenge. He says, "Let's check it out." He asks Mia to come along after school. His hazel eyes are glinting with excitement. "Just a quick look, I promise. What's the worst that could happen?" And that evening, as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the wheat fields, Caleb and Mia biked to the Hargrove house. The air was thick with the scent of dust and late summer heat mixed with cattle, and the house loomed ahead like a skeletal giant, its windows dark and jagged, its paint peeling like dead skin. They parked their bikes by a rusted gate, the creak of its hinges sounding like a warning. Caleb felt a prickle of unease, but he shoved it down, grinning at Mia. "You scared yet?" She rolled her eyes, but her grip on her flashlight tightened. So they step onto the sagging porch, boards are groaning underfoot, and push open the door, which swung inward with this eerie ease as if it was inviting them in. The air inside the home was stale, heavy with the smell of mildew and something else sour, something unplaceable. Their flashlights cut through the gloom, revealing cobwebs thick and curtains and furniture draped in dust-covered sheets. Every step echoed, the house seeming to watch. They didn't know it yet, but they were walking straight into a trap. One that would push Caleb to the very edge of life itself. Let's sink into this raw terror of this situation. Caleb and Mia are inside the Hargrove house, poking around the first floor. Their flashlights are darting over cracked plaster, fading portraits of stern-faced ancestors. The silence is oppressive, broken only by their hushed whispers and the occasional skitter of something small in the walls, probably mice, or they hoped. They've been inside for about 20 minutes at this point, daring each other to touch creepy relics like a rusted candelabrum or a doll with one glass eye missing, when Mia spots this door under the staircase. It was half hidden by a pile of rotting books. "I bet it's a basement," she says. Her voice is a mix of thrill and nerves. Caleb, always the instigator, he nods. There's only one way to find out. The door creaks open, revealing a narrow wooden staircase descending into pitch black. This wave of cold air rushes up, carrying this damp, earthy stench that makes Caleb's nose wrinkle. His gut twists. It's a flicker of that unease from earlier, but Mia is already stepping down the stairs, her flashlight beam wobbling. He is asked to, "Come on, don't wimp out now." And against his better judgment, he follows her, each step groaning under his weight, the darkness swallowing them. And at the bottom, they find a cellar. A low-ceilinged space has stone walls that are slick with moisture. There are shelves that line the edges, cluttered with jars of unidentifiable contents, some shattered on the dirt floor even. And in the center was this rusted metal grate that covers what looks like an old well or drain. Its edges are jagged and ominous. The air down here, it feels wrong. It feels heavy, like it's pressing against the kid's skin. And Caleb's breath is quickening. "This place is messed up," he says. But she's already poking at the grate with this stick, and she's curious as ever. And that's when it happens. Mia's stick catches on something, and with a grinding screech, the grate shifts, revealing a yawning hole beneath. Before they can react, the ground under Caleb gives way. Not the grate itself, but the dirt around it, weakened, I guess, by years of decay. He's standing too close, and the floor collapses in a cloud of dust and debris. Mia screams as Caleb plummets. His arms are flailing, his flashlight spinning out of his hand. He falls probably 10 feet, landing hard on this bed of sharp rocks and splintered wood in a sub-chamber below the cellar. This forgotten pit, maybe a storage hollow or worse. Pain now explodes through his right leg, a sickening crack which told him it's broken. His head had slammed against stone. A warm trickle of blood is now running down his face. He tries to scream, but dust at this point has choked him. It's in his throat. It's turning it into this ragged cough. And above Mia, her voice, she's frantic, her light darting down. "Caleb, are you okay? Just tell me something." He manages this weak groan. His vision is swimming. The edges are going dark, and he is trapped. The walls of the pit are too steep and too slick for him to climb, even if he weren't injured. And every breath is agonizing. His leg is twisted at an unnatural angle, and he can feel his strength slipping away with the blood pooling beneath him. Time begins to blur. Caleb is not sure how much has passed, and the cold seeps into his bones. His body is now shivering uncontrollably. Shock is setting in. His head is throbbing. His heartbeat is like a hammer blow, and he knows that he's in trouble. Life-ending trouble. He's losing a lot of blood. He has a concussion. He can't breathe well, maybe from the anxiety, from all of the dirt. or maybe the pain that he is unaware of within his body. He is in this forgotten grave beneath a cursed house. Mia, she's shouting for help, but her voice, it seems to grow fainter. She's run upstairs to call for someone, anyone, leaving Caleb alone in the dark. His flashlight lies shattered nearby. The beam is gone, and the only light is the faint glow from the above, too far to reach. Caleb's fading. His thoughts are a jumbled mess. "I'm sorry, Mom," he whispers in his head, picturing her tired face, his sister's goofy smile. He's 17. He's going to die in a hole because of a stupid dare. His eyelids are heavy, the cold whispering for him to let go, to sleep. That's when the impossible happens. Through the haze of pain and encroaching darkness, Caleb, he hears the voice. It was not anyone that he knows. It was deep, gravelly, a man's voice, coming from nowhere and yet everywhere, echoing in the pit like it's carved into the stone. "Get up, boy." Caleb's eyes are snapped open, a jolt of adrenaline cutting through the fog. His heart slams. "Who's there?" he croaks, his voice barely a whisper, but there's no answer, just the drip of water somewhere in the dark around him. He thinks he's out of his mind. His brain is concussed. He's thinking nonsense, but the voice comes again, and it's sharper. A chill races down Caleb's spine, not from the cold, but from a primal fear and this strange, undeniable hope. He doesn't know who they are, but the command is lifeline. It's a spark in the void. With a groan of agony, he drags himself toward the wall, using his good arm to prop himself up, his broken legs screaming with every inch. He shouldn't be able to move, not with the injuries he has, not with the blood he's lost, but something seems to drive him, something beyond his own will. Mia has returned with a neighbor, a gruff farmer named Ellis, who'd heard her pounding on his door. They're shouting down to him, rigging a rope from scraps in the house, but it's taking too long. Caleb's vision tunneling again, black spots are dancing, and he's seconds from passing out when the voice returns, much softer this time, almost tender. "Hold on." Tears sting his eyes, not just from pain, but from a sudden overwhelming sense he's not alone, and that someone sees him, values him, even in this pit. He clings to the wall, his fingers are digging into the dirt, fighting the darkness with strength that he didn't even know he had. When the rope finally drops, Mr. Ellis and Mia haul him up. Inch by excruciating inch, his body is a wreck, but his heart is beating. They drag Caleb into the cellar, then out of the house into the night air where paramedics, summoned by Mia's desperate 911 call, they rush to him to stabilize him. Caleb's alive, against all odds, after nearly 2 hours in that death trap, falling over 10 feet with injuries that should have claimed him long before help arrived, the head injury alone. As they load him into the ambulance, Caleb swears he hears the voice another time. One last time. It was a faint murmur in the wind. "Live well." He turns his head, searching the shadows of the Hargrove house, but there's nothing. Just the empty, watching windows. Caleb's survival on August 14th, 2011 is nothing short of a miracle. He spent weeks in the hospital recovering from a shattered femur, a concussion and head injuries, and multiple lacerations, but no permanent head brain damage of any kind. Doctors were stunned, let alone the risk of the infection from the filthy wounds. They thought that he should not have been able to survive. One nurse told him he had no business making it out of there. I mean, physically, he's mended, though he walks with a slight limp. But the mental toll, the memory of that voice, carved a deeper scar, if you would call it that. It wasn't me talking to myself, I promise, he told Mia's mother and Mia months later. His voice is low. Someone, I don't know, they wanted me alive. They wanted me to live. The Hargrove house was boarded up tighter after the incident, the town council citing safety hazards, though whispers of its curse grew louder. Caleb learned from an old librarian that the house had this dark history, rumors of a patriarch in the 1800s who locked debtors in the cellar as punishment, some never to emerge. Choosing to save someone instead of having them have harm? Or was it something divine, a higher power maybe, stepping in when Caleb and his life hung by a thread? He doesn't claim to know, but the experience changed him. He stopped chasing cheap thrills, started helping at the local community center, tutoring children like his sister does, finding purpose in small acts. I'm worth more than a dare. My life is. And it's a reminder that sticks with me. It's what we talk about at The Mortals, that even in our darkest, most forgotten moments, something might see our value, some might, and they might fight for us to see it too. Let's take a quick break for a word, then dive into our second story, one just as gripping and even more mysterious. I got to tell you about something that's been a game changer for me and The Mortals. And I think you know what I'm going to say. It's called Descript. If you've ever dreamed of starting your own podcast or creating content that sounds professional without a fancy studio setup like this is the tool for you. Maybe you're just starting out. Descript, it's an all-in-one audio and video editing platform that's entirely online. There's no expensive gear needed. There's no external hard drives you need to buy and keep up with. It has features like automatic transcription, easy editing where you can cut and rearrange just by editing text, copy and paste, baby. Even AI-powered voice cloning to fix a flub up without re-recording your voice. I use it for every episode to polish my stories, trim out my awkward stumbles, and make sure you're getting the best listening experience. I have to tell you, it saves me hours. It lets me focus on the connection with you through these tales, and their latest feature, AI Avatars, is next level. It is wild. You generate a video of yourself reading a script without ever hitting record, so you can't say, oh, I'm not good in front of cameras. Whether you're a creator or you're just wanting to share your own stories, Descript takes the headache out of production. Give it a try for free at get.descript.com/mortals. Links in the description. Just get it. Trust me. You're going to wonder how you ever got by without it. Our second story transports us to the outskirts of Valdosta, Georgia in the sticky heat of July 2015. It's a town where summer nights buzz with cicadas and the air smells of barbecue, pine, a place where boredom often drives kids crazy and to seek out the strange. Here we meet 19-year-old Lila, but that's not her real name. Lila, free-spirited, a community college freshman with a part-time job at the local restaurant, a diner. She's saving up for a car to escape her small town, and she had a wild streak. Dyed purple hair, a laugh that could light up a room. But beneath it, there was a quiet ache for something more, something to make her feel seen in this world that had often overlooked her. Lila hung out with a very tight-knit group of friends, all around her age, who shared her restlessness. They'd spend weekends cruising back roads or sneaking into old barns, chasing rumors of the weird and the wild. And one night over cheap burgers at the diner after her shift, her friend Devin brought up a local legend, the Midnight Carnival. Supposedly, it's this abandoned fairground from the 60s that sat hidden in the woods off Route 41. And it's a place where a traveling carnival shut down after a tragic fire killed several of its workers. And the story went that on certain nights, you could hear laughter or see lights flickering among the rusted rides, as if the carnival never left and is still operating. It's probably just junkies or raccoons, Devin said, but let's go see. Tomorrow night, full moon. Lila's eyes, they lit up. She'd always been drawn to the eerie, to places where the past lingered like a ghost. And she said, I'm in, ignoring the flutter of doubt in her chest. And the next night, July 23rd, 2015, Lila and four of her friends, Devin, Tara, Josh, and Ellie, piled into Devin's beat-up Chevy, armed with flashlights, a cheap Bluetooth speaker for courage, and a six-pack of beer. The air was humid, the sky was clear, the full moon casting the silver glow over the pines as they parked near a dirt trail off Route 41. They had hiked a half mile through brambles and mosquito swarms. The forest is growing denser at this point until they see it. The skeletal remains of the Midnight Carnival. Rusted Ferris wheel spokes jutted into the sky like broken bones. There was a collapsed big top sagged in the center, and splintered game booths that lined a weed-choked midway. The air felt charged, almost wrong. A stillness that made the hairs on Lila's neck stand up. "This place is as creepy as hell," Tara whispered, but Lila was standing there forcing this grin. "That's the point," she shot back, stepping forward. Her flashlight beam is slicing through the dark. And they didn't realize they were walking into a nightmare. One that would test Lila's will to live and leave her questioning the very nature of reality. This is a bone-chilling terror of Lila and this ordeal. It just passed midnight at this point on July 23rd, 2015. Lila and her friends are wandering through the ruins of this midnight carnival. Their laughter is echoing off rusted metal, trying to mask their nerves. The full moon bathes this old, rusted fairground in an eerie glow, casting these long and twisted shadows from the rides. Eyes are playing tricks on them. They explore the midway first, poking at ancient carnival games with faded signs like ring toss and knock the pins, and the air continues to be thick with the scent of rust and rotting wood. Josh blasts a pop song from the Bluetooth speaker, but it only makes the silence between notes feel heavier, more oppressive. Lila, always the boldest, leads the way toward the collapsed big top, its striped canvas torn and flapping like a wounded beast in this slight breeze. "Bet there's cool stuff inside there," she says, ducking under a sagging beam, ignoring the prickle of fear at the back of her mind. Inside the tent, the darkness is absolute, their flashlights barely even piercing the gloom. The ground is uneven, littered with debris, broken chairs, shredded posters, shards of glass that crunch underfoot, stale air tinged with this faint smell like old smoke that never fully faded. They stick close together, their voices are dropping to whispers as they spot this rusted trapeze rig dangling from the ceiling, swaying slightly, though there's no wind. This place feels, alive. Ellie murmurs this, and Lila, she feels it too, a weight, a watchfulness, as if the tent resents their being there, as if the tent itself resents their presence. They're about to turn back when Devin spots this trap door near the center, half buried under rubble, probably a storage pit for props or something. He guesses this, brushing away dirt to reveal a rusted handle. Against Tara's protest, "Guys, this is bad." Lila kneels to help, curiosity overriding caution. With a groan of metal, they yank the door open, revealing this narrow shaft descending into blackness, a rickety wooden ladder bolted to the side. A cold draft wafts up, carrying the sour, metallic tang that makes Lila almost throw up. "Smells like death," Josh mutters, but Lila, fueled by a mix of bravado and a need to prove herself, she grabs the ladder. "I'm just taking a peek. 2 minutes," she promises, starting down before anyone can stop her. The descent is claustrophobic. The ladder is creaking under her weight, splinters digging into her palms. Her flashlight beam dances on damp stone walls, revealing a small circular chamber that's 15 feet below, likely this forgotten storage pit for carnival equipment. But as her feet touch the uneven floor, the air shifts, growing colder, heavier, like a physical weight on her chest. Her light catches glints of rusted chains, cracked wooden crates, and her breath catches charred marks on the walls as if a fire once raged here. She's about to call up to her friends when the ladder above snaps with a sickening crack. Splinters rain down as Lila dives aside, narrowly avoiding the debris. Her friends' shouts echo from above. Panicked, They scream, "Are you okay?" But the trapdoor is too high to reach. The broken ladder is useless. She's trapped. Her heart is pounding, the chamber's walls seeming to close in. She says she's fine, but she's not. She hurt her ankle from the awkward landing, probably sprained, and a sharp pain in her side suggests a bruised rib. Worse, her flashlight is flickering. The battery is dying, of course, plunging her into near total darkness now, save for the faint moonlight that's filtering through. Minutes stretch into an eternity. Her friends are scrambling above. They're trying to find a rope or call for help, but cell service is spotty in the woods, and the nearest house is miles away. Lila's breath comes in shallow gasps, the cold seeping into her bones. Her body is so cold. She's in shock. She's alone. She's injured. Her ankle hurts. She's in a pit beneath this carnival, and the darkness is alive with whispers, faint, unintelligible murmurs that seem to come from the walls themselves. It's her mind maybe racing with dread and playing tricks at the same time. She's heard the stories of this fire, of workers being trapped and burned alive. Is this where they died? Is she next? Her flashlight completely dies, and panic is now clawing at her. She huddles against the wall. Her sprained ankle hurts her. Her side is aching. The fact that she is going into shock from fear and it being so cold, hypothermia is a real threat. She knows it. She knows that if she doesn't receive help, she may not make it through the night. "I don't want to die here," she sobs. Her voice is small, thinking of her mom, of dreams that she has unfulfilled. She's only 19, and death feels closer than ever. It's a suffocating presence in the dark, urging her to give up. Then, during her lowest mental moment, something impossible happens. Again, a melodic voice, a young woman speaking through the darkness as if she's just standing right beside her. "You're needed. You're okay." Lila freezes, her breath hitching, tears, her dirt-smeared face. The voice knows her name. Her skin crawls as she spins, searching the blackness, but there's no one. Just the echo of her own ragged breathing and movement. "Who's there?" she asks, her voice in terror. The voice returns and just softer. "Just move to the left." Her mind is hallucinating. Has to be. She's going mad. But the command was undeniable. It was a lifeline. And trembling, she drags herself, winces in pain, shoots through her ankle, and she just shuffles left. Her hands are scraping along the wall. Her fingers brush something. It's this narrow crevice hidden in the dark, just wide enough to squeeze into. It's not an exit, but it's a ledge, a spot to rest above the damp floor, out of the worst cold. The voice says to wait there, and Lila obeys, huddling in the crevice. Her body is racked with shivers, but her spirit is clinging to this strange guide. And above, her friends have finally reached a spot with service, called 911, and a local fire crew familiar with the carnival's rumors races to the scene, but it takes over an hour to navigate the woods. Lila is so cold. She might pass out from being so cold. The cold and pain are pulling her under, and she is scared. She feels like surrendering when the voice is saying, "Stay awake. They're here. You're okay." She's sobbing now as she forces her eyes open, clinging to those words. Worth saving. And moments later, a beam of light pierces the trapdoor. It's a firefighter's voice that starts to boom. "We've got you. Hold on." And they lower this harness and they pull her trembling form from the pit, and her body is battered, but she's alive after nearly 3 hours in that freezing tomb. Paramedics, they take her to the hospital, marveling at the fact that she didn't freeze to death. She has a severe sprained ankle. She has some hypothermia. She has bruised ribs, but no permanent damage. She would be okay. As they wheel her away, Lila glances back at the carnival. The moon is illuminating its rusted bones, and she swears she sees a flicker. It's a shadow, she says, of this young woman in this tattered dress, watching from the big top's edge before vanishing into the night. Now, this may sound like a ghost story, but was it? That survival that she experienced on July 23rd, 2015, it defies logic. I mean, she falls 15 feet. She hurts herself. She's in this freezing environment. There's no way for anybody to get to her. She could have died from hypothermia. She could have maybe starved at some point, but there was something that guided her, that reshaped her world. She swore it wasn't her imagination. Someone saw me. Someone saved me. I knew that. She dug into the carnival's history. She uncovered records of the 1963 fire that killed several workers, including a young performer named Clara, just 18 years old, trapped under the big top during a collapse. I mean, was it Clara's spirit bound to the ruins, reaching out to help spare Lila? Or was it this higher power that sent Clara, a divine whisper in the dark, reminding Lila of her worth? Lila changed after that night. She quit chasing reckless thrills. She enrolled in a counseling program at college, driven to help others find their value as she'd been forced to find hers. She visits the carnival site still every year, and she leaves a small flower at the big top's edge, like a quiet thank you to whoever saved her. The story, it chills us here at The Mortals because it's not just about escaping death. It's not necessarily a ghost story. It's about being seen and being valued by someone beyond our grasp. It begs the question, are there spirits, angels, forces, something or someone greater watching over us during our most darkest hours and moments to ensure we don't slip away before our purpose is fulfilled? Lila's encounter, like Caleb's, it reminds us that life's value isn't just in surviving, but in knowing that we're worth the fight, even when we can't see it ourselves. I've got another tool to share that's been invaluable for crafting episodes of The Mortals, and I think it'll spark something for you. It's called Poppy AI, and if you're a content creator, if you're a student, or you're just someone juggling a million ideas, this is like having a brainstorming partner that never sleeps. Poppy AI helps me generate story ideas, draft scripts, even research historical details for these stories, like the background on the Midnight Carnival. It saves me hours of digging through sketchy websites. It's intuitive, it's powerful, and it turns rough concepts into polished content in just minutes. Listen, whether you're writing, you're podcasting, or you're building a social media presence, Poppy AI, it streamlines your workflow. It lets you focus on what matters, connecting through your story. Try for yourself. Give it a free trial at the link in the description. Trust me, it's going to ignite ideas that you didn't even know that you had. Caleb and Lila both teetered on the edge of death, or so they thought. They were pulled back by voices and presences. Their stories aren't just about survival. They're about value, about being reminded in bleak moments that life matters. Sometimes the unexplainable isn't a riddle to solve, but a feeling to hold on to, a nudge that we're worth more than we realize. If you've ever faced a near-death moment, felt an eerie intervention maybe, or wrestled with a loss that still haunts you, I want to hear from you. Join the Mortals community, a space for deeper conversations, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and a chance to connect with others who feel the weight of these stories just like you. Members of the Mortals, you get early access to episodes, bonus content, and a direct line to yours truly to share your own experiences. Give it a check out at the link in the description, or just visit nathanmorrismusic.com to join. Also, check out the Hello, I'm Probably Anxious tee, because hello, probably am. Your story might be the one that we tell next. And remember, new episodes, they drop every Tuesday and Thursday, so don't miss a single tale. I appreciate you listening to The Mortals, where the walls come down, the mysteries stay unsolved, and sometimes the answers only lead to even deeper questions. I like it that way. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Hold your people close and know your love far more than you could ever know.